Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Well, good Thursday, everybody. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fantastic October day. It's October 23rd today. You would think that we'd be seeing some cooler temperatures. They're coming, but hey, we're a little bit above average today, but still not too bad. Feeling absolutely fantastic outside. But like I said, some cooler temperatures are coming and some big changes, including some rain chances over the weekend. Let's get right into your forecast. First off, take a live look from our Arctic Air Skycam network on this beautiful Thursday. Notice there's a lot of sunshine. A few high thin clouds are starting to move on in. You see that on the Florence camera on the campus of the University of North Alabama. That will continue to be the case for today, but really and truly cloud cover will not really start to move on in until we get into the daytime tomorrow, especially on Thursday. And I think I saw a wasp that was crawling on that Florence camera right there. They really like that camera up there over on UNA's campus. Taking a look at your temperatures right now, definitely a bit warmer than what we saw this time yesterday and the day before. We're 68 in Fayetteville right now, 70 in Pulaski, also 68 in Lawrenceburg, 72 at the Huntsville International Airport, 71 in Athens, and 71 degrees over there in Florence and the Shoals. All this is thanks to the area high pressure that is still situated across the southeast. You notice some of that high thin cloud cover moving in from the west. That will be the case today. The high pressure, though, will continue to shift off to our east, and with it, we'll start to get more southerly winds, and that will be increasing our temperatures not only today, but over the next coming days. This afternoon, again, just some passing clouds, highs back up into the lower and middle 70s. Here are those forecast highs today: 72 in Lewisburg and Mount Pleasant, and Lawrenceburg also at 72, 73 in Fayetteville, 73 in Hazel Green and Meridianville, 75 in Huntsville and Owens Crossroads, 77 degrees over there in Florence and the Shoals. Evening forecast looks like this with the clear skies. Those temperatures will be quickly dropping down into the 50s once again, eventually down into the lower 50s by 10 o'clock. So you might need that light jacket on hand for sure. Still need that jacket for the early morning hours tomorrow. Not as cool though. We expect a lot more low to mid 40s, but still some upper 30s here across parts of Murray County, Marshall County, Lewis County, Mount Pleasant, Columbia, Lewisburg coming in right around 38 to 39 degrees overnight tonight. Taking a look at your weekend, this is where things start to change. We're dry tomorrow with just some increasing clouds. We're also dry for the daytime on your Saturday with even more increasing clouds. Temperatures still warm back up into the middle 70s though. Things change late Saturday into Sunday, and look at that temperature on Sunday. Yep, your eyes are not deceiving you. 60 on Sunday, and I will say that might be a bit generous. There's a good chance that we might just be socked in the 50s all day on your Sunday. I'll explain that here just a little bit. Right now, Futurecast over the next handful of days, you're not going to be seeing much except for that cloud cover moving on through, coming into the morning hours on your Friday. There it is, moving in from the west. That will continue to be the case for your Friday. Still good though, still dry. Partly to mostly sunny skies during the daytime. Once we get into the evening, clouds will start to thicken up a little bit, and that will continue to be the case going into your day on Saturday. Still dry, like I mentioned. Things change, though, once we get into the late evening hours. By 5 p.m., starting to see maybe some shower activity move in from the west. And I will say our air mass here will be relatively dry, so some of this stuff early on that you might see on the radar might have a hard time reaching the ground, but give it some time and it will eventually start reaching the ground. So might see some light shower activity across our area late Saturday evening going into the morning hours on your Sunday. Things change though once we get into the mid-morning hours and during the daytime on Sunday. So let's talk about it. We're going to back things up real quick, back to Saturday at 7 a.m., taking a look at the overall setup here. Area low pressure off to our west, showers and storms ongoing across parts of Texas and the plains. That's going to be in the form of potentially strong and severe storms for them. We won't be seeing anything like that across our area. Saturday at 5 p.m., starting to see some of that rainfall move in from the west. Keep an eye on that warm front, by the way. That's going to be your difference between seeing those 50s and you're in the 60s during the daytime. So midnight going into your Sunday morning, starting to see some of that shower activity move on through. It starts to get better organized. and more widespread once we get into your Sunday morning. So if you're going off to church services Sunday, you're probably going to need that umbrella and rain jacket on hand. Once we get into the daytime on Sunday, we're really starting to see a lot of rainfall, maybe some embedded thunder and lightning. Notice that warm front still well off to our west. That's why we're going to be on the cooler side of this system as it looks right now. So that's going to be the case for your Sunday through the majority of the day. It honestly is probably going to end up being one of those days where you just want to stay inside, grab a blanket, pop on a movie, maybe some football, do whatever inside, because it's going to be nice and cool outside. And that's going to be that definitely that taste of fall. If I can actually speak real quick, that is definitely some fall weather that's going to be moving on through that you would expect with some of these systems. A lot of rainfall moving on through with those cooler temperatures. That continues into your Monday, by the way. You're still relatively cool, probably not down in the 50s, in the 60s though on Monday with that cloud cover and those lingering showers. So here are those rain chances over the next 7 days. Best chance is going to be Sunday, and then we hang on to some of those lingering rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Before we get into your 7-day forecast, got to check in the tropics again. We still have Tropical Storm Melissa that is down here in the Caribbean. It's been dealing with some dry air and some wind shear nearby, so it's struggling right now. But give it some time as it kind of lingers across the Caribbean, and it's going to strengthen most likely into a major hurricane. So right now, it is down from 50 miles per hour to a 45 mile per hour tropical storm. Pressure has come up. It's at 1,003 millibars right now. With the weak steering currents, this is going to gradually move to the north at a slow pace, maybe 2 to 5 miles per hour. Right now, it's moving north-northwest at 2. Once it starts to get up towards the kind of in-between area between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic and Haiti, it's going to start shifting off to the west, and that's when it could start to strengthen because there's a lot of warm water out here. Should be looking at a major hurricane by the time we get to Sunday morning, and possibly even a Category 4 hurricane by the time we get into the beginning part of next week. I will say Jamaica, it looks like it's pretty much in the crosshairs right now, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this because, as you see here, if you take that line, center of the cone, that keeps the center just south of the island, and that could just be a very bad scenario for Jamaica because you're just going to be pummeled with the wind and also the heavy rain, very mountainous island, and that could have some landslides, some mudslides, and some pretty significant flooding for the island of Jamaica. There's a lot of uncertainty still. Obviously, you see the cone is pretty wide here, so there's still discrepancies in the model guidance. I was checking it this morning. The European is the one that really starts to hone in on a Jamaica impact, but outside of that, you have the GFS that ends up being more of a Haiti and Dominican Republic type of system. So that's something we'll be keeping a close eye on over the coming days. Very interesting situation down there in the Caribbean. The good news is, at least for us, this will not get into the Gulf of Mexico and impact us here, especially along the northern Gulf Coast. 7-day forecast looks like this. Once we get past that system on Sunday, we stay cool. Temperatures should maintain at least the mid to upper 60s Monday and Tuesday. Another front moves on through that will be dropping our temperatures back down into the lower 60s for your Wednesday. And even beyond that, looking at Thursday and Friday next week, still looking relatively cool. It's definitely looking at some fall-like temperatures over the next several days. That's your latest forecast here from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. to have another check on your forecast. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday afternoon.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.